Welcome to our deep dive into Andrés Oppenheimer's Create or Die.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack the book's insights on why creativity is the survival skill you need in our rapidly changing world.
Right.
And more importantly, how you can cultivate it.
Yeah, you know what's fascinating about this book is that Oppenheimer doesn't just tell you to be creative.
Right.
He shows you how he connects this idea of creativity to a global landscape.
Yeah.
To individual stories, and ultimately to actionable steps you can take.
Okay, so the book argues that in today's world, simply going through the motions isn't an option anymore. Innovate or become irrelevant.
Right.
But what does that even look like for the average person?
You're right. It's easy to think of innovation as something reserved for tech giants.
Right.
But Oppenheimer argues that it's about adapting and evolving in any field.
Okay.
Take, for example, the story he tells about a small bakery in Argentina.
Right.
They were struggling to compete with larger chains. But instead of giving up, they started offering customized cakes with intricate designs based on their customers' interests.
Sure.
It was a creative solution that played to their strengths, and it completely revitalized their business.
That's a great example of how creativity can be applied in a very practical way. It's
Yeah.
not just about coming up with the next big invention. It's about finding new and innovative ways to approach everyday challenges.
Exactly. And to illustrate this further,
Yeah.
Oppenheimer takes us on a global journey, exploring innovation hubs around the world.
Okay.
He goes beyond the usual Silicon Valley suspects and delves into places like South Korea and Israel, uncovering the unique factors that have fueled their creative booms.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
These are countries with vastly different cultures, economies, and histories.
Right.
What common threads did Oppenheimer find?
One surprising discovery is how South Korea became a leader in education innovation. They implemented a nationwide program called Creative Lab Schools, where traditional classrooms were transformed into spaces that encourage experimentation and problem solving. It's fascinating how they've managed to integrate creativity into their education system at a national level.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And what about Israel? It's
Yeah.
a country that has faced immense challenges throughout its history. How has that shaped their approach to innovation?
Oppenheimer highlights how Israel's culture of resilience, born out of necessity, has fostered a unique blend of creativity and determination. Failure is seen as a learning opportunity,
Yeah.
and there's a constant drive to find solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems.
Right.
This mindset has been a key driver of their success in fields like cybersecurity and water technology.
It's amazing how different ingredients can lead to the same recipe for success. But this begs the question.
Yeah.
What can we learn from these global examples?
Right.
How can we apply those lessons in our own communities or even in our own lives?
That's the crucial point. Oppenheimer isn't simply offering a travelogue of innovation hotspots. He's challenging you to consider the factors that contribute to these success stories: education, government policies, cultural attitudes towards risk-taking,
Yeah.
and how those factors can be cultivated closer to home.
So we've got this global perspective on innovation ecosystems, but Oppenheimer also brings it down to the human level, right?
Yeah.
He shares stories of individual innovators who are pushing boundaries in various fields.
Right.
I'm always fascinated by those behind-the-scenes glimpses into how creative minds work.
Absolutely, and it's not just about tech moguls or scientists.
Right.
Oppenheimer introduces us to a diverse cast of characters, from social entrepreneurs tackling poverty to artists using technology to create immersive experiences. One story that really stood out to me was that of a young woman in Brazil
Okay.
who created an app that connects low-income communities with much-needed resources and services. She saw a problem in her community and used her creativity and tech skills to develop a practical solution.
I love how he highlights those everyday innovators.
Yes.
It makes the whole concept of create or die feel more relatable and less intimidating. What common themes did you notice in these individual stories of success?
One striking observation is that these innovators, regardless of their field, share a remarkable willingness to step outside their comfort zones. They embrace challenges.
Yeah.
They take risks and aren't afraid to fail. In fact, they see failure as an integral part of the creative process.
Right.
It's this courage to experiment and learn from their mistakes that sets them apart.
So it's not just about having a great idea, it's about having the guts to actually pursue it,
Yeah.
even if it means facing setbacks along the way.
Precisely. And this ties back to Oppenheimer's central argument that in a world where the only constant is change, comfort and complacency can be your downfall.
Right.
To thrive, you need to embrace that create or die mindset, not as a threat, but as an invitation to constantly learn, adapt, and evolve.
That's a powerful message. But it also begs the question, how can we actually cultivate that mindset?
hmm
We've seen it in action on a global scale and in individual stories, but what does that look like in our everyday lives?
That's where Oppenheimer gets really practical.
Okay.
He doesn't just leave you inspired.
Right.
He provides a blueprint for action, offering concrete strategies and actionable steps you can take to unlock your own creative potential.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Let's dive into those practical tips and see how we can turn this create or die challenge into a roadmap for personal and professional growth.
Hmm.
So we've seen these inspiring examples of creativity in action,
Yeah.
but how do we translate that into tangible steps for ourselves?
Right.
You mentioned Oppenheimer offers a practical blueprint. Where do we even begin?
Well, he emphasizes that you don't need some grand epiphany or a complete life overhaul.
Right.
It starts with cultivating daily habits that nourish your creative capacity.
Okay.
One of his most compelling suggestions is to actively seek out experiences that push you outside your comfort zone.
That resonates with me. It's easy to get stuck in routines, doing the same things, thinking the same way.
Right.
But how do we intentionally shake things up? What does stepping outside that comfort zone actually look like?
It could be as simple as taking a different route to work,
Hmm.
trying a new cuisine, or attending an event that's completely outside your usual interests.
Okay.
The key is to expose yourself to new stimuli, challenge your assumptions, and break free from those ingrained patterns of thought.
So it's about being open to new experiences and perspectives, even if they initially feel a little uncomfortable.
Exactly. Oppenheimer also stresses the importance of building a team,
Okay.
whether at work or in your personal life, that challenges you and pushes you to think differently.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who aren't afraid to disagree with you, offer alternative viewpoints, and encourage you to consider different angles.
That's so crucial. It's easy to fall into the trap of surrounding ourselves with people who always agree with us.
Right.
But that doesn't exactly spark creative thinking, does it? It sounds like Oppenheimer is advocating for a healthy dose of constructive criticism and debate.
Absolutely. He calls it cross-disciplinary thinking,
Mm-hmm.
drawing inspiration and knowledge from fields outside your own area of expertise, for example. He tells the story of an architect
Okay.
who found inspiration for sustainable building design by studying the intricate structures of termite mounds.
That's a fascinating example of how seemingly unrelated fields can offer unexpected insights.
Yeah.
It's like breaking down those silos between disciplines and recognizing that creativity often arises from those unexpected connections.
Precisely. And another powerful habit Oppenheimer recommends is reading widely and diversely.
Okay.
Exposing yourself to different ideas, writing styles, and perspectives can broaden your horizons and spark new connections in your mind.
Right.
Think about it. When you're only reading within your specific field,
Right.
you're
Gotcha.
essentially limiting your creative input.
I'm a firm believer in the power of reading to expand our knowledge and worldview. It's like taking your brain to the gym, giving it a workout with new and challenging information.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of workouts, Oppenheimer also talks about the importance of physical activity and spending time in nature to boost creativity.
Okay.
He cites studies showing that even a short walk outdoors can significantly enhance cognitive function and inspire fresh ideas.
I can definitely relate to that sometimes when I'm feeling stuck on a problem. Just stepping away from my desk and going for a walk helps to clear my head and generate new solutions.
It's about giving yourself space to think differently, to break free from the confines of your usual environment. Remember, creativity thrives on novelty and new experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's reading a book outside your usual genre, striking up a conversation with a stranger, or simply taking a different route on your daily commute, each small step you take to break out of your routine can contribute to your overall creative growth.
So it's not about waiting for inspiration to strike.
Right.
It's about actively creating the conditions for creativity to flourish in our lives.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer makes this sound less like a daunting challenge and more like an exciting journey of self-discovery.
That's a great way to put it, and it's a journey that extends beyond our individual pursuits.
Okay.
Oppenheimer also zooms out to examine how this create or die imperative is shaping the future of innovation on a societal level.
That's a fascinating perspective. We've
Yeah.
talked about individual creativity,
Yeah.
but how does this mindset apply to the bigger picture, to the challenges we face as a global community?
Oppenheimer argues that our ability to innovate and adapt will determine how effectively we address the major challenges facing humanity,
Right.
such as climate change, economic inequality, and resource scarcity. These are complex issues that require creative solutions,
hmm
not just incremental tweaks to the status quo.
He's essentially saying that creativity isn't just a nice to have skill,
Right.
it's essential for our collective survival and progress.
Exactly.
It's about thinking outside the box, challenging assumptions, and coming up with new and innovative ways to tackle these seemingly intractable problems.
Exactly.
Ah.
And he reminds us that we all have a role to play in this process.
Okay.
You don't have to be a scientist or a CEO to contribute to the future of innovation.
Right.
Whether you're a teacher, an artist, a student, or a parent, you have unique perspectives and experiences that can inform creative solutions.
So it's about empowering individuals to recognize their own creative potential and contribute to this collective effort regardless of their background or profession.
Precisely. Oppenheimer emphasizes that every one of us has the capacity to be an innovator in our own way.
hmm
It's about cultivating that mindset of curiosity, experimentation,
Wow.
and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
It's a call to action to not only embrace the create or die challenge, but to see it as an opportunity to shape a better future,
Right.
both for ourselves and for the world around us. But how do we take these grand ideas and translate them into tangible action?
Oppenheimer provides several specific examples of individuals and organizations that are already embodying this create or die mindset.
Okay.
He highlights a group of young entrepreneurs in India
Uh-huh.
who developed a low-cost portable water filtration system using readily available materials. Their innovation is addressing a critical need in their community and has the potential to be scaled globally.
That's an inspiring example of how creativity and ingenuity can be harnessed to address real-world problems. It shows that innovation doesn't always require massive resources or cutting-edge technology.
Right.
Sometimes it's about finding simple, practical solutions that make a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that innovation can happen anywhere at any level, and by anyone who's willing to challenge the status quo and think creatively about solving problems. Oppenheimer also emphasizes the importance of collaboration and knowledge sharing,
Yeah.
arguing that the most impactful solutions often emerge from diverse teams and cross-sector partnerships.
It sounds like he's advocating for a more inclusive and collaborative approach to innovation, one that transcends traditional boundaries and embraces the power of collective intelligence.
Absolutely. He envisions a future where creativity and innovation are not just buzzwords, but are deeply embedded in our cultures, our institutions, and our everyday lives. He argues that this shift in mindset is essential for navigating the complexities of the 21st century and creating a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous future for all.
It's a compelling vision, but it also raises some important questions.
Sure.
How do we measure the success of this create or die approach?
Mm-hmm.
What are the potential pitfalls or unintended consequences of such a rapid pace of change?
Yeah.
And how do we ensure that everyone benefits from this innovation revolution, not just a select few?
Those are all critical questions. And while Oppenheimer doesn't offer all the answers, he acknowledges the need for careful consideration of the ethical, social, and economic implications of this create or die imperative.
It's a reminder that while creativity and innovation are essential for progress,
Uh-huh.
they must be guided by a strong sense of purpose, a commitment to equity, and a deep understanding of the potential impact on individuals, communities, and the planet as a whole.
Exactly. And that brings us to Oppenheimer's concluding message, which is both a challenge and a call to action for all of us.
Okay, I'm ready for the challenge. What does Oppenheimer leave us with?
He leaves you with this powerful idea. The future is not something that just happens to you. It's something you create.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your own destiny, embracing your creative potential, and actively shaping the world you want to live in.
That's a powerful message, and it ties back to everything we've been discussing about the create or die mindset.
Right.
It's not about succumbing to fear or feeling overwhelmed by the rapid pace of change.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to adapt, innovate, and create a better future.
Exactly. And he reminds you that you don't have to do it alone.
Okay.
Collaboration, knowledge sharing, and a willingness to learn from others are essential for driving meaningful innovation. He encourages you to connect with like-minded individuals, build diverse teams, and seek out mentors who can guide you on your creative journey.
It's about fostering a culture of creativity and innovation that extends beyond individual efforts and embraces the power of collective intelligence.
Precisely. And it's about recognizing that creativity isn't just about groundbreaking inventions or artistic masterpieces.
Right.
It's about finding new and innovative ways to approach everyday challenges,
Yeah.
whether in your personal life, your work, or your community.
So it's about applying that creative lens to every aspect of our lives, seeing opportunities for innovation in the mundane as well as the extraordinary.
Exactly. And it's about remembering that failure is not the opposite of success.
Right.
It's a necessary part of the creative process.
Mm.
Every setback, every mistake
Yeah.
is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and refine your approach.
It's about embracing that growth mindset,
Yeah,
that willingness to experiment, take risks, and learn from our experiences, both positive and negative.
absolutely. And it's about never losing sight of the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the impact of our creative endeavors on the world around us. Oppenheimer reminds us that innovation should be driven by a sense of purpose, a desire to make a positive contribution to society, and a commitment to ethical and sustainable practices.
It's about ensuring that the fruits of our creativity benefit all of humanity, not just a select few. It's about using our ingenuity to address pressing global challenges, promote social justice, and create a more equitable and sustainable future for generations to come.
Well said. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Create or Die, what personally resonated with you most?
Mm.
Was there a particular insight or anecdote that sparked a new idea or a shift in perspective for you?
Honestly, what struck me most was the emphasis on the power of everyday creativity. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that innovation is reserved for geniuses or tech wizards,
Right.
but Oppenheimer shows us that it's something we can all cultivate in our daily lives,
Yeah.
regardless of our background or profession. It's
Right.
about those small, incremental steps we take to challenge ourselves, learn new things, and approach problems from a fresh perspective.
That's a great takeaway. And for me, it was Oppenheimer's emphasis on the importance of cross-disciplinary thinking.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most innovative solutions come from looking outside our own narrow fields of expertise and drawing inspiration from unexpected sources.
It's about recognizing that creativity often flourishes at the intersections of different disciplines, where seemingly unrelated ideas collide and spark something new.
Precisely. And as we leave our listener with a final thought to ponder, I think it's worth emphasizing that this Create or Die challenge is not a burden, but an invitation.
Yeah.
It's an invitation to embrace your own creative potential, to contribute to the world in a meaningful way, and to shape a future that reflects your values and aspirations.
It's about recognizing that in this era of rapid change and unprecedented challenges, creativity is not just an option, it's a
Yeah.
necessity. It's the key to unlocking solutions, driving progress, and building a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
So to our listener, we encourage you to step outside your comfort zone, embrace the unknown, and unleash your own creative spark. The world needs your ideas, your passion, and your willingness to make a difference.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Andrés Oppenheimer's Create or Die. We hope you leave feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to embrace the creative challenges that lie ahead.